Oh, hey, I wanted to talk about MAID and palliative care. I don't know about you guys, but I would think, or I've thought, that palliative care and MAID wouldn't go together. Like you wouldn't, if you were getting MAID, you probably don't need palliative care. But I'm wrong. You can get palliative care even if you're accessing MAID. And I think a lot of people, including myself, have felt like palliative care is, when I don't know about you, but I think when I think palliative care, I think hospice, and I think, okay, you're gonna die, right? But palliative care is for people that have a terminal illness, and you can access their resources basically in the progression of your disease. I think usually they suggest in the more of the moderate stages, but they have a lot of services, and I didn't know this, but they have a lot of services including like grief therapy, family therapy. They have a team that can sit with you and go over where you're at in the progression of your illness. They offer like home supports and like check-ins and stuff like that. I think the services are kind of a gap. It feels like they're a gap that, I don't know, like for other terminal illnesses, like say ALS or Parkinson's or whatever, if it's like the same thing as Alzheimer's, where you go in, you get your diagnosis, and then that's it. You're kind of left on your own to just like figure it out by yourself, which has been a struggle. And I've seen other people on here with Alzheimer's, young onset, that have also felt the same way, like completely just like thrown out to the wolves, and you're supposed to figure it out yourself, which can be very isolating, very hard on the family. It's just hard. It's scary. And there is, even my neurologist, it's like there's a huge gap in this system where, like, you know, they offer at my neurology clinic, they offer social work, but social work often in that capacity just helps with like paperwork and stuff like that, and maybe a bit of like end of life planning, but not emotional support. Okay. Or like, I know that if I was to sit down with my neurologist to maybe sit down and be like, well, where do you think I'm at in my disease? Like, I'd like to know, because it kind of like affects a lot of things for me. But in order for me to do that, I have to make an appointment, and this man is so busy. So it's like, it's almost like that's like a service that could be accessed that would help support the entire family. And I've just done a little bit of looking into it just to see what that looks like for people who are in situations like myself. And yeah, like you just wouldn't think. I just wouldn't think. I mean, there's definitely MAID support. Like I go to a support group for people that have been approved for MAID. We meet once a month on Zoom, and it is helpful. It is helpful. I think where it's unhelpful for me is that there isn't a place for my disease. You know, there's really not a lot of, there are no, unless I'm wrong, no support groups run by any sort of Alzheimer's society for young people. And that is a huge disservice to us, because look at all of us that are getting diagnosed so early now that they have this testing that you can find out if you have it in earlier stages, which is why people think you don't have it, because they're diagnosing it way earlier than they used to be able to. But it's a huge disservice to us people that are just sort of floating out there being like, okay, well, what do we expect? Like, and maybe it's that they don't know. Maybe there's not enough research on young onset. I don't know. But if people know, tell me. Because I join like a support group. My friend, I think I've said, my friend has dementia, but he's 80. And he's the sweetest man ever. He's invited me to his exercise class. And I'm like, is anyone there my age, or is everyone 80? He's like, no, everyone's about my age. I'm like, so you want me to kick balloons across the room? Which I would do just for the story, just for the fun of it. And I used to teach that, you know, in long-term care. I used to be the activity person. So I could go from teacher to student anytime. But yeah, the support groups that he's mentioned to me, because he's really linked into the Alzheimer's Society of Canada here, it's all for old people, you know? So yeah, palliative care sounds scary, but it's not. It's just another service. It's comfort care. They really care about the quality of life that you have. So I think they help you with your medications and stuff like that. And yeah, end of life planning, family support. It seems like it's a part of the process that maybe is missing. And if there's another part of the process that I'm missing and tell me.